Okay, pause. So, small disclaimer. I made a mistake. Basically, what happened was that I made a rookie mistake. I plugged in this microphone. I assumed no big deal. All I have to do is just plug it in, because the microphone that I'm using right now, all you have to do is just plug it in and it starts working. But I just watched the videos back because I'm editing right now, and there's no audio on some of the videos that I took, which is totally okay. I figured whatever, I can just narrate it. I have this microphone anyways, but it does kind of take away from what I planned for this video initially. But I hope that y'all still enjoy, so I'm just gonna quickly narrate, I guess, what is happening right now. Also, sorry, I'm watching New Girl while I'm editing. I forgot to turn it off, but so don't mind the background noise. Basically here I introduce what we're going to be doing for the video, which is that my partner and I are going to be taking photos around San Francisco, and then I introduce him. This is Sean. Prior to recording this part, I let him know and I prepped him, and I was like, okay, I'm going to introduce what we're going to be doing today, and I'm going to introduce you, and then I will pass it to you to let them know that we're going to be eating at a brunch spot first before we take any photos. But you'll actually see it in my face a little bit that I get kind of awkward, because he does low-key like interject way too fast after I finish my sentence before I got a chance to pass it to him. It was awkward, but it's totally okay. Not that I'm blaming him or anything, but this is kind of like my first time directing somebody for a video that's technically supposed to be casual, so of course it's going to be kind of awkward at first, since we're both kind of getting used to this, or just me shoving a camera in his face and all that stuff. So I still appreciate him. He did very well in this video. If y'all continue to keep watching, I hope that you do. But yeah, okay, montage time. This video also did not catch audio. Again, a rookie mistake. Always test your equipment, and that's just kind of where I failed. So here, honestly, I don't really remember what I said exactly, but pretty sure we just quickly talked about our brunch and how we enjoyed it. And then I explained that we are now going to be taking pictures, which is kind of the point of why we created this video. And then I believe I also explained that we're taking pictures near Lombard Street, so that area in San Francisco. And then we quickly explained the cameras that we are going to be using. So I was using the Fuji X100V, and then Sean was using his Fuji X-T4. There's no audio issues for the rest of this video because I do eventually switch back to this microphone towards the end. So hopefully y'all continue to enjoy the rest of this video. Jess.
Sean.
Nice to meet you. Okay, I just wanted to ask you about your photography journey. You can use like a small spiel, but like how you started, why you started.
Growing up, I'm sure a lot of folks had photo books in their homes, and so those photo books always brought a lot of joy to my family. And there was a segment of time when those photo books stopped, and I didn't really know why, but it came with, as many Filipino American immigrants know, it's just struggle, right? And hustle and all the things that come with it. And so the things about memories almost take a pause, which is really unfortunate, and that happened in my life. So in high school, I really started to take photos. I picked up my cousin's camera, I did a lot of youth ministry, I did a lot of photo work there, and from there it kind of just took off in a way that made me fall in love with it, and I wanted to take off with it. And so I just kept taking photos throughout college. I realized that I had an knack for talking, and so I would always use that to my advantage with talking to other people, either about photography or about what they were looking for in terms of photo work. I started doing like event photography, I did graduation portraits, the whole nine. Now obviously I got deeper into like wedding photography, engagement photography, things like that. So it's been a really wild ride since. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
I think mine is very similar. I had a lot of photo books in my house. So my parents were very big on moments and like being in the moment. With me having two older brothers, I was always like, I'm gonna copy whatever they do. One of my brothers got a little bit into photography, and I was like, that's cool, can I try? I think that he noticed that I started to really enjoy it. He gifted me a camera for Christmas, and that's kind of where I kind of started, like in high school too. Yeah. I took a photography class. I didn't really know what I was getting into with that, and going into college, and that's actually kind of how I made friends. People were just like, oh, you're into photography? Oh, me too. Like, let's take advantage of being in San Francisco. Let's walk around and do all these things. So that it was nice to be able to network kind of that way and like learn a little bit more or see how other people take pictures. So it was really just about fun and stuff. When I met you is when it was like kind of the technical side of it, of like, oh, okay, like this is actually how you're supposed to take pictures, or you're letting me know like what's a good picture versus what's a bad picture. Not that there's like a certain way, well, there's a certain way to take pictures, right?
It's subjective for sure. It's definitely subjective.
You kind of showed me the business side of it, right. Of like, now that you have a craft, how can you utilize it more, And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that was kind of cool to be able to be like, oh, I have a talent. Why not share it more?
Mm-hmm. There's just so much to say when it comes to our identities as photographers. It really plays a part into our intersectionality of what we do, especially being people of color, especially growing up, at least for you being in the Bay Area, and then me growing up in kind of like a predominantly, white town. Like it was kind of hard to be the guy to want to take photos, because it was really weird, because at the end of the day I knew I wanted to be the person in those photos as well, right? Mm-hmm. But it's mainly because of the representation factor, and not to go too deep into that part, but it's really important what we do as photographers is really immortalizing things, if you will, right? And I think that's something that I'm really digging into now in my photography philosophy, and that's something that just runs deep, and I hope it runs deep with a lot of photographers, is creating their own type of philosophy, like beyond the memory part, right? But like, what is the intention? Where did it come from? Like we really need to dig deeper into these conversations so we feel more connected with our work, right? And that's the part that keeps us going, aside from the burnout,
Well, now that you kind of brought it up, I'll just talk about my experiences too, because I think now going into the business side of things or whatever, I think that there was just this moment for me where I was like, oh, this isn't fun anymore. Like, I just felt self-conscious in a way. Now seeing more people's work, seeing what they do, it's like, okay, maybe mine's not as good as I think it is. You know how sometimes like you just pull out your camera and you just take pictures, and it's like, okay, fuck it, like I just want to capture the moment kind of thing. But I think for me, like I got too self-conscious, like, oh, this isn't going to be a good photo, or like, oh, this is a bad time to take out my camera, or like all these things, and I just felt very self-conscious to a point where like I didn't want to touch my camera anymore. So I guess for you, like, how have you been able to kind of reset or get out of that? Because every creative process, like even if it's photo work, video work, or even art or music or anything, like I think everybody always hits that wall of like, okay, what do I do now?
Man, that's the part that, anybody that's ever going to watch this, will always understand like that social media, although great, also comes with so much turmoil. And I don't use the word turmoil lightly. Like it really induces a sort of anxiety for us. Yes, it's great because, it helps us network. Yes, it's great because, it shows off our work. Yes, it's great because X, Y, and Z, right? You can list off all the great reasons, but of course the main con is like this, it almost fuels this competition in you. And it's disgusting. It brings me into this place of why do I feel like I'm less than now comparing my work to somebody else's, when again, like we said at the beginning, like photos are subjective. What I create is subjective for the people that I want to create it for, or myself. The thing that I'm going through right now is just trying to reset. I've been doing photography now, like professionally at least, for the past since like 2015. And with that, like came a lot of, you know, growth, and still growth to this day. But I stopped taking pictures for myself, and I kept doing it for the gram, for Twitter, you know, trying to get like deals or whatever it was, right? Getting sponsorships. And don't get me wrong, like that shit is dope and it's fun. But again, it became a chore, and I kept comparing myself to other people that kept getting more brand deals, getting more shit, and just like, damn, like, why am I so fixated on somebody else's work? And so the thing that I had to do was take myself away from that. So I took a break. Like, I took a break from like posting on Instagram, like posting stories or whatever. Like, I still did photo work, but again, because it became supplemental to my income, and I needed to learn how to separate all of that again. And that's something that I'm still doing to this day. But learning how to separate work from play, of course, this is what every photographer, every creative is always going to say. Yeah, and that's when like the gift giving part comes into play. That's when it becomes really fun. Like, how do you gift photography to somebody, right? And I think it's really just taking photos of people. Yeah, you know, when you go to Disneyland, or even you're walking down the street, you know, you're seeing tourists take photos of themselves, right? Taking selfies. Like, you can always be the nice person to just, hey, let me take this photo for you. You know, let me do that. And so bringing that kindness into photography versus like the judgment of like, oh, what are you shooting with? Oh, you don't shoot film, bro? Or, you know, not to say like there's anything wrong with that, but like there's, you know, that level of I don't know, that mindset, I guess, exists in this world of creatives, and it's really unfortunate, and it becomes draining. So again, taking space from that. What do you do?
I don't know. I think I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think when I did go through that lull of like, my work is trash, or I'm not doing it right, or whatever, I think shouting out my friends, you know, I think that they were just like, I know you do photography, or whether you like label yourself as a photographer or not, take my grad pictures, or like, I know you do this, just take this photo for me for like this special moment that I have. If they believe in my work, why don't I? Now it's to take it a step further is celebrating people's lives, and I think that that's what brought such a special thing for me, because it's just like I got to be a part of people's special moments rather than it just being about my moments. Like, it was about other people and just celebrating them. It's enjoyable to be able to take photos for other people, or even just like what we did today. At least for me, I don't know if it's for you, like separating work and just taking photos by just spending the day, just do whatever you want, like just walk around your neighborhood or like a big city like San Francisco and just shoot. Whether our photos turned out well or not, you know, we don't know what they look like yet, but I'm sure that you saw it already in this video, and that's the part that makes it fun, is just being able to do it and then sharing it with somebody else who also enjoys it.
Again, there's just so much to say, but this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Oh.
Well, you just end it here.
Well, my name is Marges.
And I'm Sean.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe.
Don't say that. That's so weird. I'm not a YouTuber.
We're just having fun. And I hope our friends that are along for the journey are here to support Marges and her ride, and obviously mine too.
You want to plug yourself? What's your website?
SeanSantos.co. 2022 is looking pretty bleak in terms of, you know, my packedness, but it's all good. 2023, hit me up.
You can hit me up if you want to. I'm just here taking pictures and
Marges. You know, she doing all the things that I'm doing now too, which is good.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.